everyone, it's Emily. Welcome back on my channel. Today's video is going to be about the 17 books that I want to read in 2017. So 2017, I do have a reading goal of 100 books, but I wanted to pick and choose 17 books in different categories that I absolutely want to read this year. I have probably half of the books already with me. The other ones I will include pictures. They are either on their way to me. Some of them are actually in the community mailbox because Post Canada gave me the wrong key. And they're outside right now in the freezing rain, and I'm really sad about it. The other ones I am planning to try and find. Worst case scenario, if I'm not able to find them or buy them, I will just switch them with a different book in the same category. The first category is YA fantasy, and there's 2 books that I absolutely want to read this year. The first book is A Court of Thorn and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. I feel like this series is so big, especially on book 2. Everyone has read it or everyone wants to read it, and I am no exception. The third book in this series, which I believe is the last one, is coming out in May. So I'm trying to just catch up and read the first 2 books. That way I can read the third book whenever it comes out. But from what I know, the series starts with a kind of a retelling of the Beauty and the Beast. That's basically all I know. I feel like fantasy books, the less you know, it's always the better. So I am hoping to get to this one this year. The second is also the first book in a series, which I'm gonna have to start finishing series because I feel like I keep starting some new ones. And it is The Queen of the Tearling by Erika Johansson. In this one, the third book came out just at the end of last year, and I feel like I'm really late and I finally want to get to it. You're following a young queen that is basically trying to learn how to be a queen and just claiming her place, and I am excited to read it. And can we talk about this gorgeous cover? It looks stunning and I just want to get all of them. I actually have the second one in the series, which again I am hoping to read, but again, that cover is beautiful and they look so pretty on the shelf. So hoping to read both of them, or at least the first one. Second category is adult fantasy. The only book out of the 3 that I currently have with me is this one, and it is Apprentice by Brandon Sanderson. Obviously, I've been wanting to read every book that he has ever written. So this one is probably going to be the next book that I read after I'm done with the Mistborn series. So let me know if that's a good start. Should I read other ones before that? I know there's The Emperor's Soul, which is basically novella, and there's also Warbreaker. Which one should I read? But so far I am thinking about reading this one. Brandon Sanderson is just the best to create magic system and world building, and if you don't know, all of his books are basically in the same overall universe, and I just think it's super interesting and I'm excited to see how it goes with this one. The next book that I want to read is the last book in the Shade of Magic trilogy by V.E. Schwab, which I'm gonna put right here so you can see it. It is coming out at the end of February, and I'm probably going to be getting it as soon as it comes out, but this series is absolutely awesome. In this series, you're following 2 main characters. The first one is called Kel, and he has some magical abilities, and he is one of the only people that can actually travel between the world. There's 4 different Londons, some of them having magic, some of them less or none. And the second character is called Vin, and she is basically a teen, and she dreams of becoming a parrot, and it's just absolutely awesome. I've been really enjoying it. The first book was good. The second book was awesome. There's basically a tournament of magicians, which, if that doesn't sound like the best idea ever, I don't know what is. Let me show you the covers of the first 2 books. So you have A Darker Shade of Magic, and then you have A Gathering of Shadows, and I really like the covers. I really liked V. Schwab's writing. It just flows and it's just really awesome. There's some beautiful design every time that there is a new chapter, and the chapters are really short, which I feel like just makes me want to like keep going, one more chapter, and then you realize you've read half the book. This is basically what's been happening with these, and I highly recommend them. Next, I want to read The Assassin Apprentice by Robin Hobb, which I have never read any of her books, and I keep hearing that they are absolutely amazing, and obviously, who doesn't want to read amazing books? So this is going to be the third book in that category of the books that I want to read. So this trilogy, I'm hoping to at least read the first one. I'm really excited to get into that universe. Hopefully I'll be able to read the whole trilogy, but we'll start with the first one. If you have read it, please let me know how you feel about it. Same thing about all of the books that I'm planning on reading, but specifically this one because I have heard great reviews, but I need to get to it. Next category is sci-fi, and as much as I like fantasy, I also really enjoy sci-fi or anything that is basically apocalypse. I don't know what it says about me, but I seem to really enjoy those books. The first one I want to read is The Girl with All the Gifts by M.R. Carey. From what I know, this is actually a post-apocalyptic-ish type of book. There's a spoiler alert here because I feel like everyone knows now, even though when it first came out nobody did, so if you want to skip ahead until I turn it back, you can do so. But you're following a young girl that basically is a zombie That's what I've heard. Some people like that spoiler thing, some of them don't. I don't know, I will have to see how I feel about it, but I thought it would be an interesting book to read, especially from the point of view of a young girl. So that's the first one in that category. The next book I want to read is The ThreeBody Problem, and it's gonna be my first Chinese sci-fi book, and I wanted to try and read a little bit more diversely. This top 17 books is not all the books that I'm hoping to read, but I thought I would include at least one of those diverse books in there, and I love sci-fi, so why not try this one? It has been getting some really great reviews. In this book, there is a secret military project that decides to send some signals in space to try and contact any aliens. And then turns out that there is an alien civilization on the brink of destruction that intercept their signals and then come and have contact with us. So I'm really excited with this. It seems like it's going to be super interesting. Again, has been getting some really great reviews, and I have the first book. I'm excited, and look at that spine. I know it's silly, but really great spine or cover tend to just attract me. The next book I'm hoping to read this year, I don't have it yet, but I will include the picture, and it is Illuminati, and everyone and their mom has been talking about Illuminati and Gemini. I believe it is coming out or it just came out. So I finally decided, what the heck, I'm going to be reading it. I feel like a lot of people have been talking about it. This is it. I'm going to be reading this book. I don't know much about the story. Again, I just know that it's sci-fi and that the way it is written, it's basically emails and just text and everything. So it's not really a proper novel, and I'm really intrigued to see how that's going to go. The last sci-fi that I'm hoping to read is The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet, which, again, including the picture. So I mixed up two books and I'm currently describing the wrong one, so don't mind me just describing the wrong book. I'm really intrigued. I thought this book was actually short, but I just ordered it and it is like 400 pages, so a little bit of a shock there, but I'm really hoping to get to it. I believe the second book also just came out. I feel like I'm starting a lot of series, but there's just so many I'm excited about, so that's just what happens, and I'll continue the ones that I'm the most excited about. In my 2016 review and 2017 goal video, I realized that I did not read a lot of historical fiction. Turns out I actually read one throughout the whole year, which was basically only 5 months for me, but still, that's just not enough, and I feel like I wanted to include different things. Obviously I'm going to be reading fantasy, obviously I'm going to be reading sci-fi, but I wanted to include a few things that I just don't feel like I reach for, even though I'm interested. So the first historical fiction I'm hoping to read is All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Doerr, which, again, the book that people have been mentioning so much, and you're following two children. One of them is a German orphan, I believe, and then the other one is a blind little girl, and you just follow their story. Apparently the writing is beautiful, the cover is also stunning. Everything happens during the Second World War, and I've been meaning to get to it, and I just need to finally do this. The next historical fiction also is happening during World War II. I feel like those are very popular books in general, and this one is also one of the ones that I got a few months ago. I've been meaning to get to because everyone seems to love it, and I still haven't done it. So I want to read The Nightingale by Kristen Anna. It's going to be happening this year. That's why I'm putting it in this top 17, because now I have to get to it. You're following two sisters that are basically part of the French resistance, and you're following their two stories. Apparently they go about it a very different way. I don't know much more about it, but I don't want to know too much whenever I go into books, but this is definitely something that I've been meaning to read. The last historical fiction is currently in the mailbox, which I am dying to read this book, and it is My Lady Jane, and everyone has been talking about this book, telling how funny it is. If you don't know, it's basically a retelling of Lady Jane's story. She was basically queen for 9 days, spent most of it in prison, and then got beheaded, and they decided to just redo her story, basically retell it and make it a lot more funny with a lot of fantasy in there, and just try to give her a better ending. Definitely one of the books that I'm the most excited to read. Last year I also noticed that I didn't read enough classic. I only read one modern classic, and that's just not enough. I used to really enjoy reading classics, so I decided to give myself 3 that I absolutely want to get to this year. The first one, I haven't read it yet, and I feel like everyone has read this book, and I want to get to it. And it is Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte, and I don't know much about it. I don't even know how I was able to go through all my life without any spoiler. All I know is that it's a classic, a lot of people seem to enjoy it, and that it is a love story. The next classic is Fahrenheit 451, which is the first book ever that I've read in English. It was in high school, and I didn't speak English whatsoever, so I did not understand anything from the whole book, but I know that it is a dystopian society. I know that they burn books, and that's pretty much all it is. So I really want to read it this year. I want to see, well, obviously I will understand it this time, but I want to see how bad my memory of it is or how good it is. So I've been really wanting to read this one again this year. For Christmas, I bought myself the beautiful Jane Austen in the vintage classic edition, and they are so beautiful, but I have only read Sense and Sensibility and Pride and Prejudice. I have never read these two, for example, so I wanted to read one or the other. If you have an opinion on any of these two books, please feel free to leave them in the comments because I want to know which one I should read first. Northanger Abbey, and the second one is Persuasion. So if you have read any of these two, which one do I read? Please vote in the comments because I need to decide. I don't know which one to read first. Last but not least, I am hoping to read some more nonfiction books this year. Last year, again, read only one, and it was pretty tiny too. It was this one. So I really didn't read that many nonfiction books last year. Obviously, I want to fix this, so there's two books that I've been meaning to read that seems really interesting to me. Let me know if it's something that you are interested in me doing reviews about. Both of the author, I won't even try to pronounce their names. I will try to learn for whenever I read them, but not today. The first one is The Gene and Intimate History, and first of all, the cover actually seems really, really nice, but I really love science and I've been meaning to read this book. A lot of people might know the first book that he came out with, which was The Emperor of All Maladies. And actually, it's kind of funny because in the back there's... Okay, so my camera died, so I'm going to try to go super quickly, but there is a blurb of Anthony Doerr, who is the writer of All the Light We Cannot See, which I'm also planning on reading. I thought it was pretty funny, and I have been wanting to read about this, so if you have any recommendation, by the way, for nonfiction, please leave them down below because I am looking to read some more. I specifically like science, but I'm obviously open. If you have any favorites, I would love to know them. So yeah, this is the first one I'm planning on reading, and the second one is Septième, A Brief History of Humankind. So obviously another science book. So those are the two that I'm hoping to read this year. If I can read more, I would love to. So this is the top 17 books that I'm hoping to read this year. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have an opinion on any of these books, or if you are planning on reading a specific book this year, please feel free to leave them in the comments down below. So that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe to not miss any future videos, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.